You want to make sure that I could go 6 months without working, and I can still live my same lifestyle. But if you open a business in terms of passion, what happens is you are acting from, first of all, a place of love. There are many ways of going about it.
Yeah.
But the biggest way and one of the most efficient ways is to either become a business owner or an investor. If you're making a lot of money, you should essentially aim to like cover 1 year or 2 years of expenses. Like you should be able to not work and still live your life the way as if you were working. I'll say financial education is you knowing how money works.
Yep.
Good. You are listening to Afrodiaspo Media. This life can be beautiful when we work hard. This life can be amazing as we keep working to create a world that we can fit in. But again, if we don't understand that the financial education, sometimes all these things can just fall apart. Tonight, we're going to bring you a special friend, a brother, who's going to give us the clues and the secrets to be able to maintain the stability in your finances. But before we get to him, I'll call up BK.
Yes, sir.
And see if he has something to say about our guest tonight.
Man, first of all, I just want to say I appreciate the guest for tonight because I feel like I'm going to learn something today, that's for sure. And I feel like a lot of people out there, you will learn something today. So make sure you stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, Afrodiaspo. Subscribe to the channel and make sure you stay tuned for this one because you're going to learn a lot. And I guarantee you a lot of people come from the childhood, they don't know much about money, how to use money, how to take care of money. Coming from high school, how to take care of money. So y'all want to stick around. I'm telling you that y'all want to stick around. Let's introduce our guest, shall we?
Yeah. So once again, my name is Major, and this is Afrodiaspo. We are here with BK, and your name is BK again?
BK
Baraka.
Baraka. You can call me BK. Y'all can call me BK, but I go by the name of. If you watch the first episode of this show, he introduced me. I introduced myself out there. I'm an artist in Vancouver. I go by the name of Baraka. You can find my music on all platforms, so I appreciate that. But I call by the name of Baraka.
Okay, thank you so much. So this is Afrodiaspo. If you haven't done that, please subscribe to this channel so that we can have quality guests. Because the more you subscribe, the more you like, the more we get good people to come here and educate us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And we're going to bring in our brother, Glorie.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm doing good. How about yourself, man?
Wow, man. I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been ages, This country really keeps people busy,
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't
like it.
I
really like it. Yeah, can you I don't even know where to start from, but can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Wow, where do I start, man? First things first, I'm a Christ follower. So I love Jesus. And the second thing is I'm a servant. So I'm all about serving the people and the community. And that's how I just end up in different situations where I do so. So those are two main things I would say about myself, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love it.
Yeah.
I just want to remind you that Glorie and I met, I think 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
In a church where I was playing piano and Glorie was playing guitars. So we were really close friends until everybody became busy. Yeah. And BK, do you have anything to ask?
Actually, this is actually, to be honest with you, this is the first time I'm meeting you in person.
Right.
Oh, first time meeting Glorie in person. Wow. Yes. Yeah, and the first thing I ask is, do you play an instrument? I think when I met you, I asked you that right away. Do you play an instrument?
You did.
Because I'm a big fan of music.
Yeah.
And everybody who plays any instrument, I'm just I got along with them right away. So it's really nice to meet you. I'm so happy to have you here to teach us something about financial, and let's see what happens today.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a good one, eh?
That will be really good. I don't even know where to start from, but I'll ask you this, Glorie.
Yes, sir.
What do you define as financial education?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. In simple terms, I'll say financial education is you knowing how money works.
Yep.
Good.
You know how money works.
Good.
Once you know how it works, you know how to make more of it. Right?
Okay.
You know how to manage it. So financial education is you knowing how money works. Simple terms.
Wow. So you mean like knowing how money works? Like how? Does money go to work, or does it work for you, or you work for it? Like,
How do you work your money?
how does it work?
So I could say like that's the main question. How does money work, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, you want to get to a point where your money works for you, right? Now, what we taught in school is that you leave high school, you go to university, and you aim for 9 to 5, right? So you spend 8 hours, and that's how much you get paid. So you're limited to that 8 hours, right?
True.
But understanding how money works, you get to a point where in 8 hours or in 2 hours, you can make the same amount that someone makes in 8 hours, right? Because you understand how money works, essentially, you know. So it's it's knowing the hacks, right? It's knowing how the system works around you, maybe because it's different in different countries, right? So knowing how your environment works when it comes to money, and essentially taking that to your advantage to help sustain yourself financially. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanna. If you can please get into
Yes, sir.
the key word that I picked up from that is somebody who works from 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And then you can make money in less than that, because I know a lot of people. Some people are not able to get that hours,
Facts.
9 to 5 in,
Facts.
due to their capabilities of just working and just
Right.
the issues with their health and stuff like that. So for the people who are watching, I just wanted to can you elaborate on that a little bit? Give them a
Yeah.
little sauce,
For sure,
that
for
come
sure. So, there are many ways of going about it.
Yeah.
But the biggest way and one of the most efficient ways is to either become a business owner or an investor.
Okay.
Right.
Now it's clear.
Once you become those two things, essentially what happens is, you basically are able to set your own rates.
Good.
Right. So your 2 hours can be set at a rate where it equals 8 hours for someone else.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously when you in that environment, you have to provide value that someone would pay that much for that service. Right. So the other part of it is you creating a service that actually like worth that much. Right. But you want to get to a point where you are either a business owner or you are an investor, and essentially what it is you can set your rates.
Yeah.
Good.
Right? You set your rates, and then that's how you can make in 2 hours what someone can make in 8 hours.
Yeah. Talking of owning a business,
Yeah.
I think to some people this is really like impossible, right?
Right.
Because I feel like somehow we are already conditioned to work for others. Now, when you tell us to open a business, I don't know where to start from. Can you clarify a bit, to your understanding? Who do you call a business owner?
Right. When it comes to business, the biggest mistake that people do is they copy from other people.
Good.
Okay.
They don't go with passion into the business. Right. Essentially, what happens when you copy from other people is that you essentially try to think about what they're doing or what they did to get to where they are or were at a certain point, right? But if you open a business in terms of passion, what happens is you are acting from, first of all, a place of love, right? So the service that you're providing, it comes from you, right? Good. Now, the only trick is, how do you package it? How do you present it? How do you put it on display, right, across the whole world, so that other people can also know about it, right, and enjoy it, right? So that's how you end up hiring a lot of people in your team.
Yeah.
But the product itself has to be from a passion that you have.
Yeah.
Okay. So
you
you need to be the one who defines the product.
You do.
Wow,
you do. Do not copy what's already there, because people like what's unique,
good.
right?
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to give a little question.
Yes, sir.
Because I've heard a lot of people they relate to online business. 'Cause a lot
Right.
of people get into that. I want to know, because I've actually tried that before, online business, but just never really had a way to, or motivation to go through the process and all that.
Yeah.
But you said something that's very important. You said we should love the products we are obviously bringing out, right?
Yes, sir.
So I wanna ask you a question. How do that work in sense of online business? Because everything, if you wanna have them online, is you have
Right.
to pick up for other stores and such things, right?
I get you. Yeah.
I want to know how
How that
do you
works.
pick that, and how do you influence people who want to get involved in your business?
Right. So, when it comes to online businesses, you do have to like select from products that are already available most of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're a big a big company already.
Yeah.
Essentially, where that comes in is that people think that they can only have one stream of income. I mean, nowadays that's not really a thing anymore. People know that they can have multiple streams, but I wouldn't say that your online business should be maybe the part or the thing that takes most of your time of the day, right?
Okay.
Because nowadays there are systems that are put in place where when you run your online business, it can run by itself efficiently, right?
Yeah.
You can like it's all about like selecting the right products or whatever. So it's very sustainable in that way. So when you want to incorporate it with like providing value to people, right, while owning an online business, it's kind of hard when you picking products that exist, right? So I don't think most people who own online businesses, if it's not from your company that you own, it's usually just a way of just getting more money. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so what they do is you're trying to predict what's the next big product, right? And in that way, you're still providing value, right? Because people purchase what they want. Well, sometimes marketing has a role in what they purchase, but most of the time people purchase what they want. And essentially, in that sense, right, what happens is that could be one of your streams of income, right? You owning that online business, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you provide value by like making sure that your catalog consists of items that people would want to purchase.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's
I'm not sure if that answers your question.
That does. That brings sorry. Just what?
Yeah.
But this is a very important key. It's a very important key right here.
Yeah.
What would you say the things that people shouldn't do that would kill the business, especially online businesses?
Yeah,
Because a lot of people go through that and then things end up not working.
right.
What do you think that the steps are that they take that doesn't really, support the business that much?
Yeah.
Just kills it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So from what I've heard and what I've experienced, because I'm not an expert in online business or anything like that,
Okay.
but what I've seen is that it really has anything to do with what you're selling, but like how you're selling it. It's about putting it in front of like the right people. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so those people who succeed in online businesses, they really got the formula on how to get it in front of the right people. And that's where things like search, like SEO comes in with websites.
Yeah, okay.
It's like predicting what someone would want to search for a certain thing. And then once you have that for your product or for your website, it essentially makes it easy for them to get it. You know what I mean? So there's so many things that comes to play, right? Like you have your product. It can be very crappy, but if you put the right marketing on it, it can sell like crazy.
The popular items that is trending.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're able to like put it out there in a way that appeals to a lot of people, but then again, that's a way of making money, right? But,
Exactly.
But I think like life shouldn't just be about making money.
It shouldn't be about making money, right?
It shouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah, it shouldn't. Maybe
That's
a
a good
bit more
point.
about that later. But yeah, that's what I'll say.
Good point.
So,
Good point.
you mean like if life shouldn't be about making money,
Yeah.
then the passion should be the first thing we should develop, right? Before we go to the
100%.
investment, right?
100%.
So everybody should be able to develop the passion first, and then the passion can take you to. Because what happens to musicians most of the time, we make a lot of money from music sometimes.
Right.
You get a deal that gives you $1 million. You don't know what to do with $1 million.
Yeah.
Now you got the passion already, right?
Yeah.
And it gives you money.
Yeah.
That maybe will take us to the next question now, which is the financial education now.
Right.
You know, how do you deal with the money?
How do you deal with money?
What can a child do with $1? You know, we don't know.
Yeah. I would say
Ding dong.
when it comes to passion and like making money, one thing you have to, because we have to be very practical.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you should like quit your 9 to 5 and like put all your hours into this thing, right? But let's say if you're someone who has a goal and it's music or whatever it is, right? And you want to do this full time, you gotta put in the building steps that will get you there. All right.
Good.
And sometimes you need money to make money. You know what I mean? And so that's why some people work like a lot of hours, because they have the vision in front of them, but they're not there yet.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you using your jobs right now, your 9 to 5 to fund your dream.
Yes.
Right? And so you want to get to a point where once you have that dream, you don't have to have these other jobs anymore. Right? So it's all step by step, right? You can start there right now working your regular job, but don't forget your dream or where you're going, right? And let that like just fund where you're going.
Yeah.
Right?
Good.
Now when it comes to like people who do have money, the main thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that your money is sustainable.
Good.
Right? You don't want to live paycheck by paycheck. You want to make sure that I could go 6 months without working and I can still live my same lifestyle.
Yeah.
You have to make sure, like once you get money,
that's almost impossible.
No, there's bills in here.
you know what I mean? You have to have that mindset, like I'm making this money and I have to like secure. If you're making a lot of money, you should essentially aim to like cover 1 year or 2 years of expenses. Like you should be able to not work and still live your life the way as if you were working. You know what I mean? Now that takes knowledge, financial knowledge on what do you do with your money.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so what happens is you want to first like secure your emergency fund.
Good.
Right? Something that a lot of people overlook, because you get to a point where you have emergency expenses, but you ain't got no cash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for some reason, like you spend as if those things will never happen to you. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Oh man, that's tough.
You spend as if those things will never happen to you.
Sure.
Exactly. And so there's so many formulas online that are there. Like some people tell you like put 20% away, put 30%, put 50% away.
Yeah.
So you just gotta like find what works for you. And then the second thing is you don't want to put all your money in one basket. So once you've secured your emergency fund, now you think about like things like investing and protecting like your income. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when we talk about investment,
Right.
personally,
Yes.
I can secure the money.
Right.
The 20%, I have no problem.
Right.
Even if you say 50%, I have no problem. But what's next? You end up using the money. There's gonna be an emergency that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Something big is gonna strike you, hit you so bad, and the money will go in water.
Yeah.
You know, like
All that gone.
I'm from Africa, man.
Yes, sir.
You will be here. You'll be here chilling, you know, doing your life, securing your money. But you just woke up to a big news that is happening in Africa.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's happening in Africa. You
That's
did not
facts.
create the news, but it happens. And regardless of how hard you can be, you feel touched by this news.
Right.
And now the whole money goes in water, and
Right.
life is just circling around like that. So I wanted to know, how can I invest this money quickly? Before it goes, 'cause I want to save this time.
What the quick things.
When I save my 20%,
Yeah.
I want to invest it quickly. Yes, quickly.
When you invest it.
Yeah. What do we do to invest?
Yeah. So the whole concept of like investing, we invest all the time. And most of the time, one thing that we all have in common here is we invest time, right? And we invest time in things that we love, right?
Good.
We invest time in family and our jobs, right? Some people spend 8 hours at their jobs. They're investing 8 hours at their job. You know what I mean? And so when it comes to money, it's the same idea in terms of like when you want to do it, you should never think about it quick. Don't look for quick investments.
No rush.
Because that's where you are led to like buying stocks that like go down in like the next day, for example, right? So you never go for quick investments.
Okay.
You have to think long term.
Wow.
Okay.
Do you read?
You have
do
to
you,
think
do you have to
long-term.
read a lot for that, or
Yeah,
people who
because
just
people don't want to read, right?
people don't want to read? Like, and when you say people say you say money, you're gonna make
Right.
money here.
Right.
People just go for it right away. Be like, okay, I'm making money here, so
Yeah.
what can I do? You know what I mean?
Do you have to read?
A lot.
Do you have to read? You don't. But if you don't want to read, you don't have to. But get someone who knows their stuff to be in your corner
That's good.
and let them do all the reading, and you just ask them questions
Man.
And you learn.
and you learn
Yeah,
and you learn, right?
I'm learning right now.
Because you can't learn everything.
You can't learn everything.
You cannot learn
It's tough,
everything, and it goes to even in businesses too. You have to like delegate some things. You can't just
Yeah.
you can't do everything.
That's true.
You have to invest your time in where it's needed the most. And sometimes it's not like you are looking at the markets and seeing what's best. Sometimes it's just you working on your passion, letting someone else deal with the finances. You know what I mean? So when it comes to investment, the first investment that you should do is one that goes long term.
Yeah.
You're thinking about long term, right? Now I know for young people this is not something that they think about a lot, but you have to think about your retirement right now.
Retirement
you
is
have to
the
think about your retirement right now.
You got to think about how you want to live when you retire,
Retire, yeah.
right now. At this moment when you hear my voice, you got to think about your retirement like right now.
y'all hear that? When you're hearing his voice, think about your retirement right now.
Yes, sir.
Because a lot of people don't think about that actually.
'Cause
they live in the moment and they
It
just don't
is.
think about
It
the
is.
past, yeah.
It takes time to build a life that you want.
Yeah.
So imagine you're 50 years old or 40, and now you're thinking about retirement, and you have like 20 years before you're 65 or 60 before you like actually retire. That might not be enough time for you to retire with the life that you want.
True to that.
So if you start now, you're giving yourself 40 years or 50 years
Yeah.
to get to the life that you want to retire at. And note this, you don't have to retire at 65. In Canada, people retire at 65. You can retire at 40 if things go well. Retirement just
That's
simply
a plan.
means,
That's the plan, man. That's the plan.
Right.
You retire, you just
you know what I mean?
chill it out.
It literally just means that you don't have to work anymore.
Then you're gonna have more time for your family.
100%.
Yeah.
And now you invest in your time more in your family side.
Yeah.
Right? Retirement just simply means you don't have to work anymore because your money is making money. You know.
So how do people have to approach that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely. So the first thing you got to do is, as I mentioned, think long term.
Yeah.
How do I want to be at a certain point in my life, and then work backwards, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
How do I get there? Like, what steps do I have to do to get there? And essentially, once you got the goal that you're aiming for, right? And now you think about, because right now we're talking about finances, like, right? Finances. You got to think about, the simple way to go about it is, okay, I want to have 50 million by when I'm let's say 50 years old, right? And right now you 20, so 30 years, so
50 million.
50 million divided by 30.
50.
You have what you have to
Man.
put away each and every single year, right? Those are big amounts, but that's the easiest way. Like, you just like take what you want to have at that time,
Yeah.
divide it by the years that you have until then, and then you have an amount. So like every year you aim for that amount, right? But if that was that easy, then life will be easy,
That's
right?
true.
You can't just put an amount and get it each and every single year, because life doesn't work that way, right?
True to that.
And so that's where you get exposed to like things like simple interest and compound interest, right? Einstein said, like, compound interest is like the eighth wonder of the world, right? Because it works like crazy. It's like interest on interest.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to get into details with numbers or anything like that, but it's a simple Google search, compound interest and how it works. But it's the only way for you to get to your dream. You have to make sure that your money is growing compoundly, you know? And then the next question might be like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
And
before you go there.
yes, sir.
How different is this to a guy who decide with their money,
Right.
I'm just gonna face the world
Right.
and sell whatever I can sell to them myself, because sometimes it's hard
Yeah.
to open a business yourself.
Yes.
And also it's still hard to trust whatever you call compound investments, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really hard to trust these things.
Yeah.
But I wanted to know from your perspective, which one do you think is easy between me going myself and look for the money, make the profit myself, and face all the risk, or invest the money into compound?
Right.
That's
Good question.
Yeah, man, that's a really good question. I think either way, in both scenarios, you have to grow compounding. Otherwise, it's not worth it.
Good.
Even if you're taking the route of you doing it yourself, you have to make sure that you're growing compoundly, right? And even if you're going with investments, you definitely have to make sure it grows compoundly. I would say that's very scenario based, because the main objective is for you to be efficient with what you have, right? And sometimes that means putting less in your investments and more to like what you have going on.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to shift it like more into investments and less to what you have going on. And so that's where like having a financial advisor or someone who is knowledgeable of what's like currently happening or just how money works, they can assist you, right? You're like, this is my situation. This is where I want to get to. How do I get there?
Yeah.
Right. Now, I would say that this life is full of risks, no matter where you go. So you starting your business, you are at the risk of losing your money.
That's true. Yeah, that's
with,
big risk.
Yeah, exactly. And even with some investments, there's risk of you losing money, and that's why people are scared to invest, right? But most of the time, when people lose money, it's because they invested in short-term investments. They want something that's gonna pop like
quickly
next year or 2 years from now. Exactly, That's short-term investment, right? So that's why I mentioned you got to think long-term, because the further down the road you think, the less risk there is, if that makes sense. There's like you're stretching out the risk, right? Next year might go down, but the following year might go up, right? So you're averaging the risks, right? And so you get to a point where even though you faced a lot of risks, over time the average it's still more than what you would have had if you kept it to yourself and like did everything by yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's really about what situation you currently in, where you want to go, and what's efficient for you, because it has to be customized to what you're going on. Customize to your income, customize to your goals. So there's no one answer to it, right? Yeah. And so that's why you bring in a specialist.
Before we go to Vicky, I know he has a question.
I do have a question. Oh, you read me well.
I know he has
I was looking in the eyes. I was like, okay.
I want to help the people who are like, because this is really important.
Yes, sir.
You know, to myself, this is really important. This is the first time I hear about these things. I've heard somebody saying, don't put your money don't invest in a bank account. Put your money where banks put the money. So is this the idea? Or there's somewhere else where bank put our money? Because sometimes you walk up and bank, they tell you like you have a 0.0.0.1 interest after 6 months. Money, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, how do we avoid that?
Right.
How do we avoid that? Because that thing is so stressful, right?
It is.
I support banks. I support them because, you know, they do what they do. But when it comes to investment, I think it's so crazy. So I wanted to know, somebody once told me that don't put your money in a bank account and let it sit there because it's going to lose value.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's always the
So
word.
I wanted to know, because if I put $30 in a bank account,
Yeah.
then I get my $30. What value did I lose?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't understand. But
Right.
these are things that we don't understand. Can you explain that a bit?
Yeah, that's I think I also like bumped into a video that also like reset that too. And
Yeah.
essentially banks do a lot of things. One of the good things about banks is they protect your money. Instead of you having your money in your house and the risk of like someone coming in and stealing it or fires or whatever, they have it there and they protect it. But they also have to make money and keep the lights on, right? So what they do a lot of times, amongst other things, is
you.
amongst a lot of things,
Take you out.
Yeah. What they do is they borrow your money.
They borrow money.
Yeah. Amongst other things, what they do is that they borrow your money and they charge interest, right?
Okay.
And
They borrow from you, or they borrow to other people?
So basically,
What the borrowing there is?
they're using your money
Okay.
and borrowing it to other places.
People.
Okay.
It rotates. Right?
Yeah, it rotates. All right, and then that's how because like most people have bank accounts and they don't pay like monthly fees. Like students, for example, don't pay monthly fees. So you're like, oh, this is a free service? No. You'll notice when you tell them that you'll keep your money for a certain amount of time, like guaranteed, they'll increase that interest a little bit, right? Because they know this money will stay here for a certain amount. So that means we can borrow it for a certain amount and then put it back once that's done, right? So now when you mention about what people should do, they should definitely try to cut the middleman. And in this case, it is the banks, right? The middleman is the banks, right? Because your money goes to the banks and your banks takes it to different services and they charge interest. They get their money back. They give you your money back and they have like millions of interest gained from that, right? And so one of the areas of like learning is like, how do you cut the middleman? Like how do I become that lender, right? Like how do I lend and then get back that
How do you
interest?
become the bank yourself, right?
Exactly. How do I replace the bank,
And
right?
that's the problem.
And so again, talking to someone who has experience in this domain will definitely show you the ropes. It is based on the countries and whatever. So like, but the idea is the same. You are replacing the bank, and what you're basically doing is you are doing what they're doing, right? And so you might be getting the interest that they get when they do the same thing, all right? And so what that does for you is it just makes you sustainable. Like you just become sustainable in that sense. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good point. That's a really good point, Glorie. That's a lot of things you covered there. I want to throw you to something else. That
Yeah.
Obviously, we know how the inflation is crazy now.
It is.
Pretty much everywhere.
It is.
And there's a lot of people who are struggling, financially.
Yeah.
And we're talking about financial issues here. I want to know, what do you think is the best for those who are struggling, for those who obviously have bills to pay? They're working 9 to 5.
Right.
They're working crazy jobs, but the money just keep burning.
Yeah.
It keeps burning because you have to pay this, you have to pay that, you have to pay this.
Gotta pay a lot of things.
I want you to give advice. Like, what is your advice you can give to like how much you gotta save, how much you gotta try to contain that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
People like that.
One thing I would say to those people who are kind of like living paycheck by paycheck, it's not a good place to be in. Yeah. So you have to set a goal for you to be out of there as soon as you can. Yeah. So your mindset has to switch. That's the first thing it has to do. You have to switch your mindset.
Some people are just stuck, man. Like,
they stuck. They lose hope. But I'm here to tell you, like, there is hope, right? So first things first. Just know that there is a solution out there. Yeah. You gotta switch your mind, right? You have to put a goal in front of you and go towards that goal. I would say, and that's once you have that done, you gotta see where your money is going. Exactly. Right. So doing a simple thing like just paper or even an Excel sheet, just try to track 3 months worth of expenses and income.
Also, every money that you use, you track it. Just try to track every single dollar that comes in and goes out. You have to have a visual way of seeing where the money is going, first of all. And oftentimes people realize your money is going to places where you could cut off.
Like you don't need this. But your money is going here for some reason, right? So
Exactly.
if you are dip cut, if you are in a position where money is really tight right now, you have to cut off a lot of things.
Yeah, man. I wish I could. People they need to listen to this. Yeah, they need to, because cutting off things is the most hardest part of.
That's the hardest part, and that's why
But
you have
gotta
to
sacrifice to.
you have to change your mindset. Like you have to program your brain and tell it like this is more important than paying for Netflix, for example, right? This is more important. Like we have to get to a position where money isn't paycheck by paycheck, right? So once your mindset is there and you have a visual view of where your money is going,
Yeah.
and then you can like point it out. Okay, like this guy and this guy, I don't really need it right now.
I don't really.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you cut it out. You cut it out.
Yeah.
Now, what's the point of cutting things out? Because, well, the goal that you set before is you don't want to live paycheck by paycheck anymore. You want to make sure that you have money, even if you're not working for a certain time. So your first goal is for you to save 6 months worth of expenses.
Very nice.
Right. And once you're done with there, and then we basically talk about other ways where you can like not get into that situation again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But first things first, change your mindset. I think the second thing is you have to have a visual view of where your money is going, where it's coming in from, and where it's going. And once you have that, cut things off and start your savings fund.
That's amazing, Glorie.
Yeah.
That's really amazing.
Yes, sir.
I think money is something that very complicated to understand.
It is.
You can have money now. Once you have it in your pocket, your heart is burning. I just want to buy this. I just want to buy this. Like you get a lot of things that you have to buy. But before you have the money, you had projects.
Yeah.
And I feel like every time we go to stores, it's like they play our mind. Once you get in there, you have to buy something.
People relate, man. People relate. You guys.
Marketing is crazy out there. Yeah.
I wanted to know. I have a question. For people who learn this like education, want to educate themselves like financially.
Yeah.
What's the approach do you take when you go to them? Do you teach them, like, let's say a family, so that everybody can understand? Because if I understand this and my wife doesn't understand it, it doesn't help, right?
It doesn't.
It won't help because she won't know what I'm talking about.
She'll get annoyed of you every time.
Because we have.
Why are you stopping from buying this? I have to shop online, man. Come on.
We already have things that we do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Now, changing that, it's like creating a new nature.
It is.
Now, in a couple, I think that can even bring fight.
Oh, yeah.
Money always brings friends.
Don't sleep here today. You're going to sleep outside.
It will create a problem.
Yeah.
So when your approach is to meet these two people at the same time.
Right.
So you can explain and everybody can understand. Because I feel women do understand things so fast, right?
Right.
But if they are in their session.
Right.
So I wanted to know, like, how do you do that? Or do you go one by one? And
Right. So I provide services to individuals and families because they both need these services, right? But when it comes to couples, for example, as you mentioned, it's important for both of them to be on those sessions. They have to be
same page, eh?
Same page,
Be,
right?
Yeah.
So when they leave there, they can like have a talk where they both know what they're referring to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's very, very important because I can't change your mind, right?
Yeah.
I can try to influence it. I can try to give you information that I think is worth your while, right? But it's for you to take it and then try to convince yourself or your brain to be like, we definitely need this. Yeah. And so when it's just one partner, that's very hard for them to try to like say what I said to the partner. Right.
That's true.
So I definitely aim to have both partners who contribute to the decisions of the household.
Yeah.
Maybe all the members who contribute to the decisions of the household to be present, so that when they leave the meeting, they're having a conversation where they're all on the same page.
Yeah.
You know.
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
It's just healthy. Yeah. It's healthier like that too.
It is.
You grow
100%.
together like that.
Yeah.
But that's tough. Money. Yeah, that's when things can get a little division going on, especially with money. Yeah, you worry about
big
that.
division. Big division.
Especially even in companies, like let's say for example, people who are working together in a company. because it's called mastermind, right? Like where two people are putting their mind together to work together.
Yeah.
But sometimes financially they can have differences. You know, like everybody's thinking their own thing.
Yeah.
And if they don't understand these things at the same time, it's hard, you know.
It is.
It's really hard for them to work together because money is always the problem.
It is.
Managing money is the problem. We can be friends, we can be brothers, but when it comes to money,
You gotta pay me. You gotta
It
pay
is.
me.
It's crazy because like you can think of relationships or teams like literally like businesses. You know what I mean? Or in Christianity, like we refer to like the body of Christ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have the leg, you have the head, you have the arms and the ears. Like they all need each other. You know what I mean? It's they all like go to one goal. You know what I mean? So if your left leg is going this way and your right leg is going this way,
That's right.
there's a split. You know what I mean? There's a big problem, and that ship will probably sink, right? And so it's very important as a business, as partners, you have one goal, one vision, and you both know what it is. You know what I mean? And so that's why like communication is super key. It's super key.
And sometimes it won't be pretty.
It won't, and you have to expect that because what you're doing in partnerships is you're bringing two different people, humans with different personalities, different backgrounds. They grew up differently. Their parents parent differently, and you're putting them together. There has to be friction. There's no way you can avoid friction.
Yeah.
And if you've been with someone for like 5 years and you guys have never had a fight, someone is lying.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Someone is lying.
Yeah.
Someone is lying. You know what I mean? So it's very, very important for you guys to be on the same page. Same goal.
Wow, it's amazing.
Oh man, it's great.
Any other question?
It's well, a lot of stuff Gloria has definitely covered today. That personally for me was I've learned a lot from that,
Yes,
and
sir.
a lot of stuff that I've struggled with some keys. You know, you definitely covered that today.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm pretty good for that.
I have maybe few last questions.
Yeah.
Why do does the government
Right.
like I think if the governments in the world, I mean, if they could take charge of this knowledge,
Right.
teach it to people, wouldn't this be so smooth for people to understand it and learning it on their own? Because it's like we are thrown in a jungle,
Right.
and you have to leave whatever you want to leave, and it's like we keep ourselves in a circle.
Right.
That's
Right.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You get money today, tomorrow you're poor, tomorrow you pay taxes, you do this, and you just keep doing that.
Yeah.
Now I want to know, is there any how you can reduce taxes too? Like,
Right.
once somebody start understanding all these things too,
Yeah.
get to reduce taxes too, and
There's so many tools that are available to us in this country, especially of Canada, and in various countries. It's just that we just lack knowledge. Like as you mentioned, like the system doesn't really teach us these things.
Yeah.
And people who go out of their way and like learn it and spend like so many hours are the ones who are like benefiting right now, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And so it's important. One of the reasons why I came into the industry is to like try to like close that gap between the knowledge, those who have knowledge and those who don't have knowledge. Because it's essential. Like we all deal with money. Why don't we know how money works? It just makes no sense. You know what I mean? And so one of the things that you do learn, it's part of like, how do you reduce your taxes, right? There are systems that are put into place, even by the government themselves, right? But because we don't know about it, we cannot use it, right? We cannot use this because we don't have knowledge about it. And so one of the biggest aims of like financial educations is to close that knowledge gap, right? For you to have all the tools that you need to get to your goals, you know, and having an advisor there to guide you when you need them to. Yeah.
I think we really need these advisors, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like,
I just want to say something.
Yes, sir.
My high school that I used to go through before, they used to have a finance class, but for me, I feel like nobody really paid attention because you were young. You be like, when that time comes, I'll take care of it when the time comes, right?
It never comes.
It's never right. So it's never really comes. So it's like Major said, you get thrown in like some random place. So you gotta figure it out. You have to figure it out quick.
Yes, sir.
I feel like for you, your advice for them is to start off from the beginning, from high school. If you have the opportunity of learning about how you handle your money,
Right.
you should take it.
Yeah. It should start even with kids, man. You know, kids learn very quick.
That's true.
Kids have this way or ability of like learning languages, and things like that. So kids like really learn quick. And so if we start this with our kids when they're like, I don't know, 6 months old, starting them young, they'll grow up knowing this. It'll be in their blood system. So even if the schools don't teach it, they know it already. You know what I mean? And so we really need to start young. But the school system itself also has to like invest more time into this, because like as you said, we are thrown into the jungle, and it's only when we inside the jungle that we realize, oh, like, dang, I'm missing a lot of the knowledge. Like, what do I do here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we started like Googling and stuff like that. And the problem with Googling is that there's so many people who have their opinions on there.
You get a lot of things.
You know what I mean? And when it comes to customized solutions, it has to be customized. It has to be like the input has to be what you're going through, what you have, and what you got going on, and then there'll be a plan that like that's created after that. You know what I mean? So it's hard to get that from the internet. So that's why it's good to have someone in person, or someone who could like look at what you have going on right now, and then work with what you have. Because you watch a YouTube video and someone makes let's say 5K per month, but you make 3. So what applies to them might not work for you at this moment. You know what I mean? So it's good to seek financial knowledge from financial advisors and educators, so that you can get to your goals faster. And so, yeah, that's one of the passions that I have, to really trying to like close that gap of knowledge. Because I feel like if we start this with my generation, my community, then the next generation they'll be good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
They'll be good. You know what I mean? So the sooner we start, that's why thinking back to what I said, you got to think about your goals like right now, like your end goal. Like think about it right now, because you're giving yourself more time to plan it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's why I mentioned our generations that are to come. Like we start now with the processes of establishing them having a better lives than we had. You know what I mean? And it really starts with financial education, and other topics. Yeah.
Okay. Few questions.
Yes, sir.
By being honest,
Yes, sir.
Glorie, do you really believe, like yourself inside, do you really believe that if one follows all these procedures with discipline, like if they did, because this requires a bit bigger level of discipline, right?
It does.
100%.
Being able to take care of money is not easy.
It's not.
We want to buy things and enjoy them.
Yeah.
Some of them we buy, we don't even use, right?
Some of them stay at home
and just
Getting dust. Yeah.
But I want to know, if somebody follows all these steps,
Yeah.
being disciplined, can that person really become a millionaire?
Right. I 100% believe that. Yeah.
You do?
100%.
Wow.
Yeah. Especially with our day and age, with the internet.
Yeah.
There's so many ways of making income.
Yeah.
That's the key. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to rely to your 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. You can like do a lot of things on the side that's putting money inside.
Hey.
Right? So you have multiple streams. And so the key once you have that streams is like, where do I put it so it compoundly grows? And once you have the income and the compound growth, 1 million is too small. Like you definitely have more than that.
Oh,
Yeah.
50 million. What are you talking about?
Yeah, maybe even 50 million, right? So like,
discipline.
as you mentioned, discipline though. It takes it takes sacrifice. It takes discipline.
Yeah?
It takes, you know what I mean? The faster you want to get there by, the more the more sacrifices you have to do like right now. You know what I mean? Because you want to get there faster, because you have to that means you have to put money in, like more money in. You know what I mean? And so you sacrifice now so that later on you could benefit. You know what I mean? So yeah.
My last question. This is my last one.
Good. Yeah.
What's your advice? We when we started, we were speaking about passion,
Right.
right? And it's so hard to get to be passionate about something. It's really hard.
It is.
Some people don't really know what means passion, you know. Some people don't know. They think just loving something means you're passionate with it.
Right.
Until they start doing it, then they run away, right? It's like
It'll become easy.
piano. Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've taught piano to so many people. And I learned it from so many people.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to keep up.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Even though
facts.
somebody will tell you I have passion, but in 3 months you will know that they have no idea what means passion.
It's facts.
Because the passion should keep you moving, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, here's my problem. Since the world doesn't understand what means passion,
Yeah.
what's your advice to the world?
Mm-hmm.
When they look at the guy who has a passion, they have a vision,
Right.
they know where they're going with the thing, but
Right.
maybe financially the thing is not working.
Right.
Because you are talking about long-term investment.
It is. Yeah.
When you invest in a long term, you have to know that you're gonna burn.
Yeah.
In short term, you're gonna burn.
Yeah,
But
a
the
lot of
things that
sacrifices,
you
yeah.
start getting the fruits
Right.
in the long term. That's why we
Right.
call it long term, right?
It is. Yeah.
Now, what's your advice to the people who surround this poor guy or poor girl who's trying to make his life easier in the long term?
Right.
Because they'll be fighting him, showing him like, you're coward, you know, you don't know what you're doing, you are confused, this thing is not working.
Right.
You know, and sometimes these are the closest people to this person. But the person has a clear view of what he's doing.
Right.
He knows what he's doing, but the world is going to bring him down. I don't know. What do you think about that, Glorie?
I mean, I feel like there's so many stories with that same scenarios. Like a lot of actors or singers who experienced that when they were younger or like coming up.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
told them like, "Hey, you ain't gonna be nothing." Like,
Yeah.
do you think you're Michael Jackson? You know what I mean?
You don't
You
know,
know.
in terms of
man.
Like, you think you're gonna make it? And then there's so many stories where people actually end up making it. You know what I mean? And I would say like, the key is that passion, because your passion has to be something that you could do without earning money.
That's true.
Facts.
Wow.
Like, I can do this for a long time without getting paid for it because I love it so much.
You love it so
right?
much.
Now think about how that plays out in your way of like getting to your goal of, right? You essentially change your mindset. You switch it, and you basically saying like, I love this so much that I can sacrifice not getting as much as I would at this point, so that long term I'll get there. You know what I mean? And so you sacrifice right now to get to your goal. You know what I mean? And so that's why it has to be something that you can do without getting paid, right? Because you love it so much. And one thing I've seen in common with like big passions that actually like make a lot of money is that it's people focused.
Good.
If your passion is not people focused, then you might have to like rethink, right? If your passion focuses on people and providing value to people, it can be in any way. It can be a new design of clothing. It can be new technology or a new app. If it provides a value to people in a certain way, it's hard to change the destiny of that thing to like, because if one person like it, there's probably someone else in other country that also likes it. You know what I mean? So now it goes to like you finding those people. You know what I mean? But it's very important that right now you fix your mind. Like, is this passion of mine? Is it people focused? Right? Does it provide value to people? Right? That goes to music or people who create videos. Right?
Yeah.
You have to be unique. Don't copy other people.
Yes.
Like how can you add to this industry that you're getting into?
That's true.
Once you figure that out, now you have to think about, how do I make people see this? You know what I mean?
That's time.
Man. Do you hear this guy?
That's a big investment in
Do you hear
time.
this guy, man?
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
up.
yes, for real. So there are like multiple steps, and sometimes it's different from like different industries, but like you really have to get your product first, make sure that it's worthwhile, worth investing, and once you have that, you have to make sure it's something that you could go a while without getting paid for because you love it so much, like you enjoy doing it. But we all need money at the end, so
That's true.
That's why we sometimes take that passion and it brings us money, and that's the best life, when your passion brings you money, right? Because you quote unquote working, but you love doing so. But at the same time, you're getting money. You know what I mean? As opposed to like working 8 hours somewhere, you don't even like it. But you have to be there because you have to have an income.
Yeah.
So one goal that someone could have is that I want to do this for life, whatever it is. I want to do this for life, only this, right? So you gotta switch your mindset, sacrifice a lot of things, make sure that your passion provides value to people or to a community, right? And then go from there.
That's really good, man.
Yes, sir.
I don't have any other questions.
I just want to say,
Wow.
this has been great, man, because I know a lot of young people, old people, whatever age you're in, you're struggling with money.
Yeah.
At least you gotta give a little sense of how things gonna turn out.
Yeah.
We covered a lot of stuff today.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I just want you to look at the camera and give out your Instagram, because I know a lot of people, they might reach you through DMs. You know what I'm saying?
For sure,
They have
for sure.
questions, whatever they want to ask you. So it's been absolutely, a pleasure to have you here and teach
Yes,
us
sir.
about all these things. So just shout them out.
Yeah. What's good, internet? So my name is Glorie Ramazani, and my Instagram is also Glorie Ramazani. Ramazani is Ramazani, and Glorie is Glorie. As I mentioned, I'm a Christ lover and I love serving people. If you want to get your finances right, hit me up on Instagram, and we'll go from there. But make sure you're providing value to the world. And make sure that you enjoy doing so at the same time. Yeah. Thank you for having us, man.
We actually gonna put Instagram in the description there.
Yeah.
So that people can get to contact you.
Yes, sir.
Because this is really important. This is really important for everybody.
Yes, sir.
And we really thank you for coming, Glorie. Because this
It's been an honor.
This is what defines what we're doing here.
Yes.
Being able to bring people who can create leaders out there is what defines whatever we're doing here, because then we won't have any value, right?
100%.
Right.
Yeah, this is really important. So if you got this far, then you're really enjoying what we're saying. Please, once again, subscribe to this channel.
Do that right now.
Subscribe to this channel
Now.
so we can get more people who are going to bring value.
And the like
Not
button.
only into your life, but also in the lives of other people.
Yes.
Because we are trying to help everybody.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, BK, if you have anything to
I just want to say it's, the message today, obviously the keyword must be discipline. It's very tough, especially with the life that we're living right now.
Yeah.
It's so hard. Like financially, people are just crashing so bad.
So bad.
And like anything you can do to cut out your financials, just cut out anything that to help out to get out of that situation.
Yeah.
Like Glorie said, that would be amazing. So we thank you guys for watching. We hope that you guys learn a lot today, because I've learned a lot today.
I did.
I'm sure I made you learn a lot today.
A lot.
And I want to shout out the people in the crew in the back who's filming. Continue to get things going on, because this is very important. Like,
yes, sir.
I just say, trying to find leaders who can help people and change people's lives. So I've been very educated today. I'm very appreciated. Thank you, Glorie, for being around and joining us today.
For sure.
And continue to subscribe to the channel, and there's a lot more episodes going to be coming here. A lot of interesting things.
A lot,
Yeah.
A
So
lot.
Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much, Glorie, for coming.
Thank you for having me, man.
We're still gonna need you next time. This time you have to break down everything. Like break it down.
this is the first page. This is the first page.
First page. Maybe next time if you
We turn
get
the
a time,
page.
because I know you're a busy man too.
Yeah.
Just break everything down.
Hey,
Yeah. So everybody
People
can
need
get
to
to
know.
understand.
yeah,
Because I imagine
sure.
how many people are going to watch this
yeah,
compared
Awesome.
to how many people are going to, like, how many people you can meet, like, in person, right?
Right.
If everybody get to watch this, they will get educated
Yes.
regardless of where they are. Some
Right.
people are even out of Canada, but they need to learn this thing.
Exactly. 100%.
yeah. Stay disciplined.
Yeah.
Very
Stay
honestly,
disciplined.
stay disciplined.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Glorie.
For sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You are watching
There's a show.
Afrodiaspo, and this is Major Mugisho. This is,
BK Baraka.
and we had Glorie Ramazani.
There
Sir,
you
in the
go.
house.
We thank you so much.
Appreciate y'all,
Yeah.
man. Peace.